And I know we're about to have a different opinion
Yes,
on
we
this
are.
next topic. Now, D, you're the one that brought it up, so do you want to introduce it or
Yeah,
the
I
greatest
can introduce it.
athlete?
I can introduce it. Yeah.
Okay.
So after the Super Bowl, everybody was talking about how great Tom Brady is in terms of winning the 7 championship and him having
Oh,
more.
real quick, before we dive into this, did y'all see that the daughter of the person who made the Lombardi Trophy
Terrible.
asked Tom Brady for an apology because him tossing the Lombardi
I
Trophy
saw that.
was a what was the word she did? It was an embarrassment to
She
her
said
family.
she didn't sleep for 2 days. No. There's so many other things that have happened with those trophies that she doesn't even know
Right.
about.
So
That she doesn't.
it's crazy. It's as crazy as it sounds, bro. As crazy as it sounds. I'm not on her side, but I also can understand her side. And this is why I say I can understand her side. Because if she takes as much pride in her work as a lot of other people should, then
Dad
she
built
should
it,
feel
not
that way. Huh?
her dad did it, built it, not her.
Right.
Oh, okay. So that's rough. I
Yeah.
don't. Is her
It's
dad
more
dead
his
though?
legacy, and that
Is he dead?
I
Is
think
this
he's dead. I
sentimental
think
to
it's more of
her?
his legacy is the reason why she says it's not being
I saw
shared.
somebody. I
It
saw
was a
somebody.
great throw though. Like it ain't
Right.
like they dropped it.
Two of
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
they dropped
favorites.
it.
she didn't get mad when Gronk dropped them on the stage a
Gronk
couple
used it as
years
a
ago.
baseball bat. Remember to hit stuff.
Ah,
No, but
that's
this is what I think was funny. Two of the funniest ones I responded were one. Obviously, she doesn't know Tom Brady doesn't miss throws, and then that's my favorite one was what's about to be named the Tom Brady Trophy in a few years, so get over it.
yeah. So he wins his seventh one, and everybody was talking about like him being the greatest winner of all time. And I saw a meme where it's like, hey, where Michael Jordan's like, you catching up or you getting there, we're there. And then I saw Bill Russell with his 11 championships, like, hey, you guys are almost there. Keep going. So I came up with the question is, who do you think is the winningest athlete of all time across all sports, male, female, across all sports? Who do you think is the winningest of all time and why?
I want you to go first, D, because it's your question.
Okay, so when I was talking to Gary, and I want to make sure we put his sexism on display. I was talking to Gary. The first name that popped up in my mind was Serena Williams, and he goes, "Tennis is too easy."
I never said tennis was too easy.
You did. You said it's too easy because you said there's men
Mm,
that do that.
Nope. My exact comment was that I think it's harder to win multiple championships in a team sport than it is a single sport.
Right. I was gonna say that's one thing I feel
That was
like you
my whole
should.
thing.
One thing you should have to break down is team sport versus individual because
Okay.
with a team sport it is much harder, and then even then within team sports like basketball, an individual can have way more of an effect than football because football there's two sides of the ball that you're
Man,
not
I
able.
don't give a damn what y'all talking about. I said winning this. If y'all want to go team, y'all go team. However y'all want to
Who's your
structure
player?
whatever y'all want.
Give me your
I'm
player.
finna. So it was a toss up between these two, and I didn't know who I wanted to go with, and I'll tell you why. Michael Phelps won 23 gold medals, 28 total. So
Mm.
Michael Phelps is 100% up there. He started when he was 15 years old. He accomplished all those goals. But this is the one that I have to say will be number one. It'll be Usain Bolt. He had 19 medals in 21 events that he entered. From August 2008 to August 2016, he won 19 gold medals and was never beaten. And I'm saying this. There's a little guy probably in Cambodia. There's probably somebody over in Africa or Egypt or somebody over in South America somewhere or in Canada right now that can be a better basketball player than LeBron James, a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. But there's nobody that's better than Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt because they're running and competing against people around the world, not just here in America, but in the world, Craig, in the world. So
Craig.
you can't name me better athletes that are winners than Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt. There's nobody else better. Like it's a mic drop, really. Like we really don't even have to hear who y'all gonna talk about. But we're gonna do that because this is our podcast and it's y'all time. But Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt, to me, Olympic champions, Olympic gold. They around the world, they've proven it time in and time out. Even at the ripe old age that Usain Bolt was, he was still dominating the competition. Again, there's nobody out there that's more dominant in any sport and has won more than those two guys as it relates to the Olympics. And guess what, Gary? They only come around every 4 years. So I'm gonna let you chew on that. But who you got?
No, I think those are two good choices. But again, like me and Time said, I think it's a big difference between individual and team sports. I think team sports is harder to win multiple championships because you got to rely on multiple people. Individual sports, you're relying just on yourself. You could have that outstanding ability. No matter what, you're not losing. This is not going to happen. I don't know necessarily. It makes you a great champion, yes, but I don't know if it makes you the best because it's harder. I think it's just a lot harder to win with a team atmosphere. So like with individuals like Usain Bolt, he raced the same people year in, year out. So he was already beating them every year. So if he's racing the same exact people, he should
Gary.
win.
Stop it. Don't you diminish what the hell he did.
Who was his biggest rival?
So here's
every
the thing.
year.
And I really want you to understand this. I really want you to understand this because I'm a, you know what, I'm gonna let y'all go and then I'm gonna bring it back full circle and you'll get what I'm saying. I don't want to mess up what I got going on right now. So you tell me who your guy is or girl is, and you tell me who your guy and girl is, or guy or girl time and why, and then I'm gonna tell you why mine are different. But go ahead.
So no, I like yours, but like I said, it was the same competition you're in. Yes, he had to beat them. He had to do it, and they were the best of the best. I agree with that. It is a great challenge. Same with Phelps, but he's always racing the same people. He kept racing against his own partner, Ryan Lochte. That was his biggest challenge. There wasn't like 14 people or 30 other, 29 other teams.
On this podcast,
no, I think there was great choices. I just can't make them the winningest of
well,
all
who
time.
You got, Gary? You still banging my? You know what? You better have somebody damn solid. You better have somebody that ain't got no holes.
Completely different than anything you're gonna think. And none of you are even gonna think this. So my winningest, he is actually a basketball player. It is not Bill Russell. Imagine that. Bill Russell was definitely up there for my thought because he had 13 championships in 15 years, if you count college.
13. Okay.
Well, 13 if you count college. He had 11 NBA, and he had 2 national championships in college. So and that was in a 15-year span. That's amazing. But honestly, I'm going to say Tim Duncan. The reason why, Tim Duncan, he only lost 391 games in his whole NBA career and won 5 championships. That is outrageous. And as a team, he was the focal point on the team. Yes, he had David Robinson for the first championship, but after that, it was just him. Him and Tony Parker having to do everything. And Tony Parker has more losses than Tim Duncan does. So the fact that Tim Duncan only had 391 total losses in his whole NBA career and had 5 championships, to me, makes him one of the winningest players of all time because it's a team sport. And I think it's a lot harder because every year teams are going to be hard. He's going against Jordan. He's going against LeBron. He's going against these generational talents and beating them for championships.
Right, but just the fact that Tony Parker has less losses than Tim Duncan, doesn't that kind of like say, okay, well, that's probably not a good measuring stick?
Hey, that's who he went with, Tom. That's who he went with.
Oh, yeah,
that's who he went with.
Has more, and he's played in less games.
Bro, okay. I thought you had some, Gary. You set me up like you had some heat. That shit was trash. what you got,
There's
Tom?
no
what
other
you got?
NBA player that has that winning percentage. Just saying.
I'm gonna nip all that in the bud. I just hope I'm telling you right now, Tom. I don't want to break my computer screen, bro. You better not. I'm telling you right. Do not. Don't be.
We're talking about Olympics, and everybody talks.
Tim Duncan also won an Olympic gold too. No big deal.
Everybody talks about how great it is to win gold. Everybody talks about how great it is to win silver. And you know what? Who has won more gold and silver in the NBA than anybody out here? And let's talk about my boy LeBron James, because coming in second should matter. And so to me, Michael Phelps is the most decorated athlete of all time.
Boy, I was literally about to shut it all the way down. I was going to log off. and like not log back on ever again, bro.
No, so here's what I'll say to put it in the context. So like if you're talking about decorated and winningest, like how Michael Phelps did it and how he won, because the thing about swimming is there's so many different events. So there's so many different ways you can win gold medals, and it's still swimming, but yes, it's a different stroke. So like, I give him more credit for that than I would say like Usain Bolt, because Usain, all you're doing is pretty much running straight, because you have like people that are in decathlon. Usain Bolt probably wouldn't have been able to win a decathlon because he's fast, like he's just super fast, which is good. But some of these other sports, being fast is only one facet of being good. Like you can't just be fast and be good in the NBA. Ask Oakland Raiders wide receivers for the last 15 years. You can't just be fast and be good in the NBA. You can't just be fast and be good in hockey. So it's like, yes, that is a very big feat to be able to win that many races in a row. But that's all he is fast. At least with Michael Phelps, he had different strokes. There were some team aspects too. I know that Usain Bolt won some like team medleys, some 4x100s, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like at least with Michael Phelps, he had to switch it up and do different strokes in order to be on top of the swimming world. But all that to say is, it's hard for me to say that somebody that's a swimmer or a track athlete is the best. Even tennis, even though I love tennis, I respect tennis players. But as far as the player pool of people that are coming into those sports, they are not as large as football, soccer, basketball, baseball, because there are just less people that want to play those sports. And so it's easier, in my opinion, to dominate one of those sports because you have less competition, kind of like what Gary brought up earlier. So if you like putting a gun to my head and say you have to choose somebody that's dominated their sport, I would go with Michael Phelps. But to me, it doesn't feel right saying that they're the best athlete of all time.
That's not what we're saying.
Winningness.
That's not what we're saying.
Winningness.
We said winningness. We said winningness. Don't change this conversation. We said winningness.
Or even winningest athlete, because they're the winningest in their sport, right? But their competition has been, very slim, like compared to the amount of people that, try to play basketball.
You've been very disrespectful, Tom. You've been disrespectful as hell.
How many rec swimming leagues are there around the country?
I don't think there's any of those. I don't think there's any rec track leagues.
Well,
either.
you don't know that though. You don't know that. You don't know that at all, Tom.
Hey, guys, I'm trying to. Hey, I want to join the church league swimming team with me. We really need somebody on this breaststroke this year, Gary. We lost our breaststroker last year. We really need somebody to come in here. Come on.
You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring DeAngelo Williams and Gary Barnage. You push play and they'll push the limits.